Moms for Liberty had a bit of a rough night on Tuesday in their elections for school board seats all across the country. The hate organization ended up making a lot of endorsements for candidates that didn't exactly win their elections. In fact, voters stood up and rejected their hateful agenda. In Bucks County, Pennsylvania, for example, in the Penridge School District specifically, all five of the school board's open seats actually went to Democrats instead of these Republicans backed by Moms for Liberty. In fact, according to WFMZ, the rejected Republican candidates ran under the name Protect Penridge and had advocated policy requiring kids to use the restrooms and play in sports teams, which aligned with their biological sex. So apparently, people not really interested in again banning trans people from existing. Christopher Bressi, a GOP candidate for the Downingtown area school district in Chester County, also had lost to a Democratic challenger. There's more in Virginia. 3 of the 4 candidates endorsed by the group were trailing in their races in Loudoun County, where Democrats ultimately ended up holding the board, a majority. For example, Moms for Liberty candidate Michael Rivera lost by 6% after all the votes have been counted, while endorsed candidate Chris Hodges lost his race to a Democrat. Joe Smith narrowly lost out by just 174 votes. Deanna Griffiths did actually win her election, but by less than a percentage point in her race in the Ashburn district. Moms for Liberty candidates had an even worse time in the state of Iowa, surprisingly. Linn-Mar district voters rejected 3 people endorsed by Moms for Liberty, choosing instead to re-elect 2 incumbents and 2 newcomers for the board's open seats. Laura Stefik got just 11% support, while fellow Moms for Liberty candidates Kevin Sloman and Tom Law each managed only about 10%. Ooh, gotta hurt. Another Iowa Moms for Liberty candidate, Greg Pappin, failed to make it onto the Mount Vernon School Board, while Moms for Liberty endorsed Barkley Woner and Richard David were unsuccessful in their races for the Cedar Rapids School Board. And in West Des Moines, the group's candidate for the school board, Terry Patrick, received only 9% of the vote. Patrick, who was listed as the education chair of the Moms for Liberty chapter in Polk County. In 2021, she had signed a letter asking for criminal charges to be brought against the school district for, get this wild claim of disseminating pornography to our children over the availability of 2 LGBTQ books in school libraries. LGBTQ books are not pornography. Okay? Pornography, I mean, you know it when you see it, right? Books involving gay characters or trans characters, not pornography. Very, very simple, to understand here, okay? Very simple. But it gets better. Progressive majority was formed on Iowa's Johnston Community School Board of Education, where the candidates, backed by the hate group, Charles Steele and Michelle Veach, lost their races for one of 4 open at-large seats. In Minnesota, all 4 candidates put forward by Moms for Liberty were wiped out in the race for the Rosemont Apple Valley Egan School District. None of them even got any double-digit support. It turns out voters favored the 3 incumbents and 1 newcomer for the school board. There's one state where Moms for Liberty candidates actually did better. Conservative incumbents Kathy McCollum and Ole Larson ended up holding onto their seats, but in that election, there was super low turnout. Only 9.5% of registered voters turned out in that election. Wow. That's out of tens of thousands of, again, registered voters. In North Carolina, the Moms for Liberty endorsed Teresa Knight failed to secure one of the 3 seats up for grabs in the Mooresville Graded School District Board of Education. And so, other than, I guess, a race here and, in Alaska where there was super low turnout, Moms for Liberty got wiped out. Ouch. Bad night for book burners, banners, and homophobes. Good. So now, what happened? Why did they get destroyed? Well, Executive Director of Agenda PAC, whose mission is to hold anti-LGBTQ politicians accountable, has a theory, he explains, that Tuesday's victories were actually a result of messaging. Uh, he also noted that parents were exhausted by the politicization of these school board races. In fact, he said parents are just tired of how Moms for Liberty has been trying to inject their politics into education, which should be, to whatever degree possible, politics free. Can't agree more. And Wakabayashi, vice president of the campaign and creative services, the media strategy company Berlin Rosen, also said this. What we want to do is talk to the parents and common sense folks out there who just don't want this getting in the way of the essentials that government is supposed to do. Schools, of course, are government. So now Samantha, let's see, Polara, principal at Spotlight Strategies, added, that turns parents off, the stuff that, Moms for Liberty is trying to do. And hopefully our messaging this year will have given them a little bump to come out and vote. And it did. Discussing the reception of a divisive message, Polara noted that people just don't like it. I think the basis of our messaging is this common sense message about letting us keep education for kids and not politicizing it. Which again, that's what Moms for Liberty was doing. I know their messaging is basically projection. They're the ones that wanted to bring politics into school, and specifically culture war politics, trying to again go after trans students, trying to ban them from sports, trying to ban books, trying to do all these extreme measures that people were not interested in. People do not like these extreme agendas, the discrimination. They just want their kids to learn in a respectful, open environment, and they want them to learn factual information. Trans people exist, gay people exist, that's factual, okay? Among many other things, okay? And so, look, at the end of the day, it's great to see people getting involved, getting out there, voting, pushing back against these, essentially what are special interest hate groups that are trying to make education worse and the school experience worse for gay and trans people and non-binary people. And so you love to see it, parents coming out defending gay and trans students, as well as fighting for good, non-political, fact-based education.